Dear friends of the Violet Race Garage, in this exciting video I would like to show you how I am reactivating my Frequenta. The Frequentas have been very popular in Germany, so there are a lot of them already there. And here is one that arrived today in my garage. So this is what I saw first. The cables look really bad, and but the device looks nice, and also the handle. So what I first do, I cut the wires, and for for not forgetting which wire is for what part, um, I make first a picture to show exactly what is the wire for the handle. And what's typical for Frequentas, they have a little safety metal thing on this special bolt. So I took a photograph of this too. So what you have, if you open the machine, you have two different big wires. The left one is for the load and the right one is for the handle. For making this clear, I gave a little bit of tape, of green tape, on this cable to the handle. So what is absolutely important, I keep the box as a bolt holder, so I cannot lose those. Okay. Now, what you have here is a typical Frequenta, or also the Violetta are same like this. The next step, what you do, you cut the fabric that keeps the capacitors in place. This is what you do here. And here, this is the other hand, and you also cut the fabric here. And now, you take the capacitors out of the machine. You see here that there are two of them and they are connected between each other, so they are in series. What you see here is one of the most difficult and complex things that you have to keep in mind. There is a very, very thin wire connecting the wire coming from the capacitor with the coil, the little thing at the middle of the right side of my picture. Keep this in mind, that there is such a wire existing. So what I do next, I glue the capacitor with my fast glue to the metal plate and connect it to the metal pieces that we will have a look on later. So the next thing is I apply a cable to the other end of the cap, and on the other hand I let the cable go under the driver coil, and on the other hand I solder this connection to the place where the cap has been before. So next thing is cleaning the contacts. I use sandpaper, a very fine sandpaper, and also contact spray to clean the contacts of the Wagnerian hammer. There is a lot of oxidation and corrosion on it normally. Okay, this is the typical front of a Frequenta. You see here are the cables from the load, and I already disconnected the cables to the handle. So everything is on this front plate of the device. So again, here you can see in a little bigger version the cable here. It's coming from the load, is also going to the handle. This is the neutral, and there is also the working load coming here, and then going from here to the coil. Okay, then next one. Now, after this, I am preparing my cables. What I do normally, I put a little bit of shrinking tube over it to protect the cable against mechanical destruction coming from, let's say, from the plug here. And here is the connection inside the plug. The grounding is not beautiful done, but I did this later on a little bit nicer. What you have here, load and the neutral, and what you also have here, what I'm looking for, is that the the cable is fixed here with this mechanism. It's important so you can't tear it out. So the other side of the cable I prepare like this. I let the strands be a little bit longer because we need to connect them to the metal plates on the front of the device. So here is something that is absolutely important. Normally we only have 2 wires to the handle, but in this case we have 3 wires to the handle. Those wires here are for the machine, and this one are for the handle, the primary coil, and this one here is going to a grounding into the coil. So be sure that you connect this wire too. Okay, here's one thing that I always forget. Before connecting the line, you should bring the wire through the second of these holes, so you don't have to reassemble the plug after this. This is important. This always costs a lot of time if you don't do this. Now what I also do, I fix the 2 cables with this kind of stuff to keep them safe in their place. And now I am wiring the 2 cables the way it has been before. The hole 1 is the neutral coming from the line. Hole 4 is the working load coming from the line. Hole 2 is first connection of the primary coil, and hole 3 is the second connection of the primary coil. And here you see the covering of the grounding which is going to the handle. Okay, first step after this, I close the machine again. Now it's about the handle. This is what the handle looks like. There are 2 things that you need to reassemble if you want to disassemble the handle. There is a small screw. It's made kind of bakelite. It's not metal. And here is the knob for the regulation of the device. The lower it is, the weaker the device is. The higher it is, the stronger the device is. Okay, if you turn now the black part away, you see a coil like this. What you have here are 2 sliders on which this primary coil is sliding up and down. And this sliding is done here by the knob, what is normally put in here, but we unwound it. So this is what we see now. This is the top of the coil. Here we see the connection to the electrode holder. So what now was also exciting for me, there is a very thin wire coming out of the coil. If you unbolt it, coming out of the coil, and which is connected to the grounding. This was the green and yellow cable that we fixed before as a grounding right hand of the machine. So keep this in mind. Be careful if you are removing this. I think this wire is very thin and can rip apart. So now I was disassembling everything. You see here again the small wire with a bigger connection, and you see here the sliders. And here I try to connect the primary winding of the handle. And this part here only slides up and down those metal rules. So it was a little bit difficult to get the cable through this very thin hole of this entrance to the handle, but it is done. And oh wait, that was too fast. And now I am reassembling this handle, each piece. You see here the connection of the cables to the primary coil, so the energy is flowing through these parts, And here you see the connections, the metal pieces to the primary coil. So this is the flow of the energy. Now, one of the most complicated and stupid things, and also taking a lot of time, if you don't know how you do it exactly, is if you want to reassemble the handle again, this black wooden part. Important is when you do this, that this smaller part is like this. So if you turn it this way, this little thing will keep this wooden piece in place. So with this trick, it's very easy to get it back like this. So when you see here, the knob is missing and the bolt is missing. This is what you do next. Here is the knob, there is the bolt, and it's working. Thank you very much. And if there are questions or anything, please use the comment function of YouTube. Thank you very much and have a nice day.